So this time, actually, instead of doing astrology, what we decided to do, and I love this, is guessing the MBTI profiles, right, of the main characters, because I think MBTI is kind of making a resurgence, don't you? It's kind of becoming a little more mainstream again and hip with the kids because astrology has had its renaissance. And I think some people are kind of over astrology. I will never be over astrology. And there's something to be said about the MBTI. And there's a lot of fun, like meme pages now. We send stuff back and forth. You know, I'm an ENFJ. You might
I
now be
have
an
become
ENFJ. Yeah.
ENFJ.
Because weren't you an EN?
Yes. And I know why. I think I know why. I think when I'm in my super lawyer mode, I become an ENTJ. And when I'm like allowed to recede from my super hyper lawyer mode, which like will not listen to a no and who has to get her point across and who has to be assertive. So I think when that hyper professional mode, when I'm like on that mode most of the time, I think I'm an ENTJ, definitely. Because even my percentage is like, it has become 52% feeling, but it's like right bang in the middle. It's like I can swing in any direction.
That's how I
Like,
feel about my J. Because I mean, most of the times I'm ENFJ, but sometimes I'm ENFP. But then I do feel like reading some of these accounts, ENFP is a little more like dramatic than I am. You know what I mean? Like I'm not that, what's the word? Like I'm not that showy. I'm not that back and forth with my emotions and my feelings and my thoughts like these are. So yeah, I'm definitely pretty solid ENFJ, occasionally ENFP. But that's how I think I'd be close with those two. I need to take it again. And I thank you for making the note for me to link it. I'll
I
put
will
it in
send
the
you. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, talking about the MBTI test. So, this is called the Myers Briggs Type Indicator. This is basically a personality indicator test that you take on the basis of rather subjective questions, which these subjective questions are also, they are thought oriented as well as action oriented, in the sense that how you are in your mind and how you process things in your mind, your thoughts, your feelings, and then how do you bring it about into action. So this MBTI test was developed by a mother-daughter duo, and they are called Catherine Cook Briggs and her daughter Isabel Briggs Myers. And they were both, actually, they are not technically like psychologists or psychiatrists, or I mean, I don't know where they get their expertise from, but they get it from somewhere. But their whole philosophy of the fact that there are specific personality types, they were inspired by the writings of this very famous Swiss psychiatrist. His name is Carl Jung. So Carl Jung, he basically theorized that people organize their emotions and cognitive functions in a certain way. And these certain ways of how you think and then how you proceed to action, this can be classified into certain types. That's why this is a personality type indicator. Now, when we come to the different classifications, basically there are 4 benchmarks. The first benchmark starts with your energy. So when we talk about energy, the first indicator is, do I feel energized by other people or do I feel energized alone? So this is the type of extroversion versus introversion. So as an extrovert, do I feel, great after a party? Do I feel great after like having a debate with people? Do I have a great time during or after a concert? Do I get energy from that? Then I'm an extrovert. If I'm an introvert, I like being in my creative,
Yeah.
passionate bubble. And as an introvert, I think the whole idea is that you don't get energy from a crowd, you get energy from yourself. And this is what I
Well, and
find.
real quick, and to interrupt, I feel like they need to redo this test because I feel like, especially with the introvert extrovert thing, it's not black and white. It's not one or the other. I'm an ambivert. I know most people think that I'm an extrovert because I can do stuff like this and be on and this, but I love my alone time. I have to have, and maybe that's my Aquarius moon, but I get so much from my alone time. But again, with parties, I can be on and I can be great. But then I get done and I just feel like emotionally drained and I just have to be quiet and I prefer to be alone. So I think there's that, so I'm an ambivert and I wish they had that. Anyway, go ahead.
See, but then again, this test was developed during World War II and it has not been revised since. So
Wow, I didn't know that. That's
we
old.
are we are relying on a 1940s
Yeah.
science.
All right. Well, we'll redo it, but after maybe for each one we'll figure out, what's the middle ground.
Yeah. So now already explained what extroversion and introversion is. I also think I'm an ambivert because percentage wise, I'm very close, like 49% extrovert, 51%. No, sorry, 51% extrovert and 49% introvert. And I
Yeah.
kind of agree, like, I can be performative as an extrovert when I have to, in the sense that when the situation requires it. But yeah, man, that other 49%, I need to be alone.
I'm
And even
totally the same way.
I have always, that's why I have been able to like brave commute, like really long commutes. And it's because I was glad that I could decompress before I go and have to start performing with team members and bosses and this and that. Like, I love to decompress and just like be in my own thoughts, like for an hour, hour and a half, or even 2 hours, and then have to like, so then I can just be mentally prepped to then start performing as a, highly assertive lawyer who will not take no for an answer. I think it's also occupation based. Like, if your occupation requires you to be like out there, then you kind of have to change your personality.
Yeah.
Okay, the second indicator. Now, the second indicator is based on the fact that whether you make decisions based on your intuition or whether do you make decisions based on your sensory perception. Like, do you have a gut feeling or not? Or are you listening more to your gut feeling? Or are you looking more at external facts and then making a decision? So I'm an intuitive person and I'm 70% intuitive. So I think I'm more intuitive than sensory. And
So
also
that's
you're
the
also
N, right?
that's the N,
The
intuitive. Yeah.
N is intuitive and then and the other one's S, correct?
S, sensory. Yeah, that is the second benchmark. The third benchmark is feeling versus judging. Now, judging is not how we think of judging, like, like judging others or being like condescending or contemptuous. I don't mean that judging. Judging is more like, it's like being more resolute with your decisions versus being more flexible. So that is where the feeling versus the judging comes. Like, in
Okay.
feeling, you will be a little more flexible than what a judging person would be, because a judging person would immediately like be decisive and go with one direction. One direction. So yeah, I'm a judging type. I judge people and also I make clear decisions.
I feel like
And
I'm probably in the mid of that too.
no, actually, I'm in the middle of that as well. It's like some 55%, 45%. I'm in the middle of the ground for everything. So I feel like my personality swings wherever it wants to swing.
You are
And like,
the true ambivert.
yeah, and like based on my audience, I think that's a Pisces rising quality. Being able to be what your audience wants you to be. That's a very Pisces rising thing. Like being a
Yes, it
chameleon.
is. Very fluid.
Mutable sign. Now, coming to the third benchmark, that is between thinking versus feeling. And that's a very basic concept. Do you do things based on your thoughts or do you do things based on your feelings? So that's the T part, thinking, and the F is feeling. And I'm more of a thinking person. I mean, feelings and all are nice, but yeah, you can't like be a Lola all the time. You have to be an Ella. And I think Ella being so intelligent, smart, and pragmatic, I think once she's like mid 20s, late 20s, I think she will really blossom. Like, I think the qualities that she has will do really well in the real practical world. I can imagine her working as a CEO and like an ethical CEO. If I can imagine
Yeah.
Lola being if I can imagine Lola being like a indie artist, an indie actress, kind of like Parker Posey. She gives me very
Right.
Parker Posey vibes.
Yes.
And I think she would want to pursue a career like Parker Posey, which is kind of like offbeat, but also like in the limelight. Yeah, that is thinking versus feeling. And the last
Love it.
is judging versus perceiving. So judging versus perceiving is the last benchmark. And this is also fairly basic. Like, do you make decisions based on external cues that you perceive, or do you make decisions based on internal cues, like an internal knowing? That is what the judging part is. And yeah, I'm a very judging person. I'm judging.
I mean,
Yeah.
it says Scorpio moon. I think any Scorpio placements are fairly judgy. I can relate. That's why I'm a J. I'm an ENFJ.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. My J part is like around 60 something percent, which is not so middle, which is
Yeah.
not off the middle like all my other personality traits. But yes, we'll put the link to the MBTI test in the show notes. And yeah, check out what MBTI type are you? Are you extrovert? Are you an introvert? Do you think? Do you feel like a tortured poet?
But
Do
I
you
do have to,
judge?
yeah, I have to ask you though, quick fire,
Hmm.
astrology, sun signs only,
Okay.
Lola. Let's do quick fire. Just the main characters. Lola. I know what you're going to say.
Sagittarius.
I will.
Sagittarius.
No. I thought you were going to say
Sun.
Leo.
No, sun.
Leo.
I'll say Leo rising. Leo
Okay.
rising
Okay.
or Leo moon actually,
Yeah. Okay. No, I
because
can see that Leo moon.
yeah, because she has somewhere she has to be a reader. Like she had all of that Greek mythology,
You're
reading
right.
like so much literature at such a, like at a reasonably young age. And of her own accord. This is not like school
So
assigned
Sag Mercury
homework.
too then. Yeah, Sag Mercury because
Okay.
also
Yeah.
she couldn't be a Leo sun with a Sag Mercury. So okay, we'll make her. I like that. Sag Mercury and sun, Leo moon. What about
And
Ella?
yes, Leo moon also because she innately feels that she's going to like attract a big audience.
Yeah.
That's not
Okay.
a very Leo sun quality. I think Leo suns are kind of lazy people, like a
I'm
lion.
leaving that in.
Maybe they are lazy people. I don't know. I think yeah, Leo moons, I think they are like more, they just have that inner fire versus an external fire, I think. So, yeah, her drive and passion comes from that Leo moon. Or she could be a Leo rising as well, but more of a Leo
Hmm.
moon.
I like that.
Ella has to be a Virgo. I can't
Yeah.
help it.
Yep. Yep. Virgo, Virgo. What about Carla?
I can say Carla is a Leo
I was just
sun.
gonna say, yep. Yeah.
Because Lola and Carla are kind of similar, but also not.
Yeah.
And I think
All
Leo
right.
is also like,
Uh-huh.
Leo is more like me, okay. And Sagis are like me, but through the lens of some philosophical theory, which will validate my own questions and my own answers. It's like, it's kind of like just different shades of the same color.
Yeah. And they're both fire signs. So I think that's why I think they get each other's motives too. I think that they get each other deep
Yeah,
down because they're fire
yeah,
signs. So what yeah.
I think so as well.
What about Sam? Go ahead.
Sam actually, I'm a little conflicted about Sam because I like him. So I don't want to make him something I don't like. But
Gemini.
then again, because I like him, he can definitely not be a Gemini. Actually, he can't be. He's too steadfast. For a teenager, he's very
He's very
like,
chill.
yeah, he's super chill and like not in a nonchalant way chill, but like a chalant chill.
Like Taurus?
I don't want to say a Scorpio.
Or like an air
Kind
sign.
I'm kind of debating whether he could be an Aquarius sun
I was gonna
because
say that too.
he bounces off ideas with Ella really well. Sorry, he bounces off ideas with Lola really well. And I think
Uh-huh.
an Aquarius sun and a Sag sun, like if they start talking, they will become friends.
Stu Wolf. That's the last one.
Oh God, Pisces, 100% Pisces.
Oh my god, I didn't think of it. Yes, because A, tortured artist, singer, B, alcoholic. There you go.
Yeah, and escapism, escaping to India to find himself.
Yes.
Please,
Yep. That's
such
it.
a
Pisces,
Piscean
Pisces, man.
quality.
You know, man. There we go. That was so good. Yeah, I love that. I love the MBTI. That was great. I'm going to put your link, but I do also recommend, let me find my bookmarks. There's one that I found, I think I sent it to you forever ago, and I was taking
I'll
different
just
tests on it
quickly.
forever ago. It's called idrlabs.com/tests. That's also another good one. It has like all of them. Like it even has like, what's your type of neurospicy? You know what I mean? There's some fun ones on there. I love that.
So for Lola, MBTI type, she's definitely an extrovert. She's definitely intuitive. I think she feels more than she thinks. She thinks when she needs to manipulate, but she feels most of the time. And she's perceiving. I think she's perceptive. Or at least in her teen years, she will be more perceptive than judging. I think
Yeah.
so. Okay, now we'll come to Carla. Carla is the typical ENTJ, the villain, the commander, the brutal, tyrannical dictator.
This is yours though.
This is my old one.
Your
I've
old
I've
one.
become,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So my ENTJ is supposed to be the scary lawyer version, and then when I become a better person, I become an ENFJ.
Okay. Well, welcome to the club.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad I'm becoming. I'm not like, I don't want to be a Carla all my life. So yeah, Carla's
That's funny.
definitely an extrovert. She is intuitive as well because you can't play mind games by not being intuitive. Please.
Uh-huh.
She she thinks versus she feels because she thinks through how she's going to like keep anyone who rebels against her social order, how she's going to check them and keep them in line. So she thinks a lot about mind games. And yeah, she is less perceiving, more judging. I think she just makes decisions on the fact that I'm great. I can do whatever I want. This is my suburb. This is my high school. So yeah. And Ella, fine. When we come to Ella, I mean, come on, she has to be an introvert. She needed someone like as Delulu, as Lola to kind of like bring out her extroversion and to bring her closer to being an ambivert, I think. But in the books, I think she is introvert. I think she's very intuitive because she's a very loyal friend. And if you see, she does not open her mouth stupidly in front of Carla to ever embarrass Lola. Like she's always in with Lola. Like
That's true.
they have a telepathic connection. They literally have this telepathic connection, and like she never outs Lola. She never like mixes up stories. Nope. So she's very intuitive, but I think she thinks more than she feels. Like she's the practical brains behind the Lola Ella train. And lastly, yeah, I think she judges more than she perceives because she says really like wise things beyond her years. Like when she is kind of screaming at Lola at, the fact that they are making such a wild plan to just crash a concert and crash. And Ella's like, Lola, you have no talent for reality. It's good that you are becoming an actor. And this is the kind of thing that that a J judging person would say. And she says like other wise things like Stu Wolf is not an adult. He's a rock star. We can't rely on him as an adult. So Ella's like, yeah, definitely judging. So this is the trio of amazing girls that we have in this book.